that we've gotten, okay? All right, so let's go to the very first one. The next slide. Okay, let's just review the steps of the sale, all right? You got the meet and greet, you get to know the client, agent, build value. You build value. You sell evolution, you qualify. You research, select, and you follow up. You do the presentation of the travel quote. That's where we're at right now. They've done the travel quote, you've presented it, now they've come back and they're like, whoa, wait a minute, blah, 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 blah. They're going to give you some objection. Hopefully you get through that, and you will. And then there's the commitment, terms and conditions, travel insurance to close, purchase the travel booking, must have credit card authorization form, no third party, fill out the commission tracking form, always, right away, and watch Mike Archer on How to Sell Travel series, okay? So that's where we're at. We're at, right now, the presentation of the travel quote. You presented it, and now they've come back with some objections. Let's go to the next one. 6 of the most common objections. Number 1, we haven't decided yet, or we're just not ready to book. Number 2, I haven't had the chance to speak with my partner about it yet. It's more than we're planning on spending. We can't afford it. We decided not to go. What happens if your client goes dark and won't return your calls or emails? That happens a lot. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, one of the things I want you to be aware of, all right, is don't get all okay about this. Be calm, embrace these issues, embrace the challenge. I love it. Oh, you're telling me you found something cheaper on the internet? Great, let me see it. Oh, well, I don't have it now. What do you mean you don't have it now? Do you have the links? Show me the link. Send it to me. I want to see it because I want to be able to match it, because we do have matching programs. Apple Vacations, Pleasant Holidays, they do have a matching program where they price match. So, on cruises, not really, they don't do that. But I embrace the challenge. So as they come, because that way, if you're more in a happier mood, then they're going to be like shocked, going, whoa, what's up with him? He's always happy. He's always positive. And you're going to find out exactly what the objection is. And we're going to get through these. So just take a chill. Don't get all, they didn't buy it. They didn't, blah, 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 blah. Embrace the challenge. This will make you a stronger agent, a stronger travel advisor. Remember, you're a travel advisor. This will make you stronger. And if you get through these, the next booking and the next booking is going to be that much easier, and you're going to know. You'll be a veteran of this. Talk to the Patrice Abelvans and the Donna Fontaines and the people who have been doing this for 10, 15 years, how to challenge with this. And they still come to me and they go, Jose, but how do you deal with the people that don't call you back? Okay, we're going to talk about that today too. All right, let's go to the very first one. All right, so here's the first one. We haven't decided yet, or we're just not ready to book. Well, wait a minute. Then why did you call me? Why did you call me and what did you want me to do? You wanted to go, now it's December, you were looking at March, and now you're not ready to book? Okay, here's what you do. We haven't decided yet is an excellent news to hear, because it means they still have them. Your client may be dangling off the edge of the hook rather precariously, but you can still salvage this booking. You have to have a bit more legwork that starts with asking a series of questions to tease out where you haven't made a solid case yet. Let's go to the next slide. Here's the response to number 1. The best way to respond to this objection is to straightforwardly ask, well, wait a minute, what part of the quote is leaving you with questions? They may not know offhand, so make it a multiple choice selection. Is it the hotel that you don't like? The length of the trip? The inclusions that are offered? Is it the price? It's essential to dig deep, because if you take the first response and run with it, you may find yourself doing multiple revisions to the quote that just wastes everybody's time. The more granular you can get with the precisely what's not right, the better chance of creating an itinerary that you have with them they'll be falling in love with. Okay, now here, everything really relies on qualifying. If you qualify properly, and what I mean is this, okay, I'm going to show you an example of how someone may not get this right. Let's say it's a couple and they're in the 50s and they want to go celebrate their 25th wedding anniversary and they want to go to Vegas and they don't have a budget. Okay. So you're kind of like, oh, okay. They don't have a budget. And then you go and you go, and you go to Funjet and something and you go, oh, wow, the Venetian. I think they'd love that, right? Well, you give them the quote and they're like, what? $450 a night with the Venetian or the Bellagio? No, I don't want this quote. This is why it's always important to ask about what the budget is, so you get in almost in the same area of what they're expecting. And one of the ways to do that, if they don't know what the budget is, okay, then you always ask this. Well, what star hotel do you want, Mr. Client? Do you want 3-star, 4-star, 5-star? Do you want breakfast, full breakfast in the morning? Okay, I can accommodate you. That way, when you go and do your search, you already know what kind of hotel they want. Okay? Now, they have to be realistic. If they're thinking that they're going to stay at the Venetian for $25, $50 a night, they got something wrong there. Or the Bellagio or the Wynn, the high-end luxury, gambling resort palaces that they have in Vegas. But you got to put them straight and let them know about that. Okay? But that's why qualifying is so important. All right, let's go to the next one. I haven't had the chance to speak with my partner about it yet. If it's been less than 24 hours since, here's something else that's really important, okay? In the steps of the sale, I always say to create urgency. Be careful here. You don't want to create pressure, you want to create urgency. And the way you do this is when you present the quote, you say to them, look, this quote that I have for you is only good till like 24 hours, 48 at the most. Well, why is that? Because the air changes. The air is constantly changing. I cannot guarantee the price, 3 days from now because air is constantly changing. So let them know about that. And don't sit on this a week, Mr. Client, because if you, let's say that I gave them the quote on Monday and they call me the next Monday and they go, okay, we're ready to book now. And here's the credit card. Well, guess what? It went up $200 to $300. So make sure that they know that the way the travel industry works is this price is only good for today and tomorrow, maybe. I can't guarantee it 3 days from now because the air is always changing. Okay, so how do you answer this one? All right. If it's been less than 24 hours since you released the initial quote, it's possible. Typically, though, this is a classic stalling technique that people use when they don't want to tell you that they're unsure of the quote. This is the essential objection number 1 in disguise. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Come on, there we go. Response to this. Firstly, you want to narrow the chances of hearing this objection by setting up a follow-up date at your first consultation. This should be standard procedure. But if you didn't do that, or you did, and this is still the response, then you want to set up a time when you can circle back when both clients are available to talk. Now, there's different ways of communication here. You can use Zoom. You can use the phone. I would rather use Zoom, though, if your clients are, let's say that you've got clients, I'm in Los Angeles, my clients are in Phoenix, okay? Use Zoom, but make sure that you get both of them there to make sure that they can go through everything. That way you can avoid that, all right? And remember, because this is objection number 1, but it's veiled to look slightly different, you'll want to have a barrage of questions ready for the follow-up appointment. Well, what don't you like about the quote, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson? What is it? Is it the hotel? Is it too many days? It's too many nights? How can I make it better for you so we can make this booking happen? Find other, and be nice. Be nice. If you're nice, you will generate more business. And they go, wow, gosh, we had an objection because it was too many nights and he fixed it right away. And what are you doing? You're building value in your business. Remember, we're always talking about building value in your business, and don't be desperate, but just be nice. Go, yeah, no problem. It's easy. I can fix it. What don't you like? Okay, let's go to the next one. It's more than we're planning on spending. Now, again, this should be handled in the budget question. Okay, well, what were you planning on spending? Let's be real. If you're going to 4 days at Disney, and you want a hotel stay, it's going to be a chunk of change. And Disney is raising the prices up now. I mean, they're finally giving us in California, I guess in the winter, they're giving us a $79, I think, what I heard was a $79 a day park pass for 1 day. But if you have a park hopper and all that other stuff, it can get costly. All right, so here's what you do. Falling up outside of someone's budget is a fair objection and one that can be easily tackled. This is why it's so important to know what the budget is or know what the hotel ranking is. That way you can say to the client, hey, Mr. Client, I'm sorry, but the Tropicana is like a 3-star hotel and now they're charging $200 a night on the weekends or $250. Why is it so expensive during the week? Because that's how Vegas makes their money on the weekends. So assuming you didn't already qualify their budget in the initial consultation, you want to ask, how much do you think a vacation like this will cost? What would you feel more comfortable with for your holiday budget? You can easily offer suggestions of tweaking the itinerary to bring the cost back into line. Let's go to the next slide. And here's the response to that, assuming I just said all that. Sometimes clients have no idea where to begin making alterations, but suggesting a day of leisure can bring the overall cost to an acceptable amount. What I mean by this is this, okay? Instead of doing 7 nights in Cancun, let's do 5. And I'll save you on the budget. Okay. Or let's do, 6, or, alter it a little bit. Instead of staying at, the Ryu Palace, let's stay at the Ryu Santa Fe, which is a different experience, but that'll fit your budget. But tell them about that. If they really want to be in the Ryu Palace, that's a whole nother experience than the Santa Fe. And you guys do book a lot of Ryu. You know that those are 2 different things. So, explain that to them. It's not the same as the Ryu Palace, but the Ryu Santa Fe, it fits your budget, fine. There's always ways to, and if you're happy about it, well, I can work with that. All right, let's go to the next slide. We can't afford it. Okay, this one is interesting. It's a rare circumstance indeed that the client really can't afford the cost of the holiday. Only 9.2% of the world's population lives in true poverty. For the rest of us, we attach values to the things we deem worthy. If your car broke down, let's go to the next slide. If your car broke down and there was only one way for you to get to work, you bet away you'd find a way to pay the mechanic. And some people wouldn't bat an eyelash paying $4,000 for a big screen TV or a computer, a personal computer, and yet others, that luxury holds little or no value. So this objection simply means that you haven't adequately demonstrated the value of the holiday and how it is worth the cost to them. Again, not everyone has the energy of a Jose or a Michael Archer or a Ron Archer to go in and talk to people. This takes years of training and being in front of people to say, I'm ready for you to book. Some people are shy. Some people are, well, I don't know how to do this. You guys are new to this. So again, this is things that, you guys are always meeting together. I always hear about all these, oh yeah, we had this training and that training. If you start training, start doing those qualifying workshops. Say, you know what? We're going to work on qualifying, and we're going to sit down and we're going to deal with, each of you qualify each other. That's an art. It's again, same thing. You can do these, you can do these objections, and how would you solve it? And have somebody play the, role playing, and that way you learn. Oh, okay, I get it. So you're not going in there all nervous and stuff and going, oh, I don't know how to do this. Sometimes it's just a matter of detailing the inclusions. Okay, I once had a couple who was struggling with the price of a group tour to China. But once I broke down the cost in a per diem rate, which is a daily rate, and detailed everything they were getting for the price, they said, we never thought about it that way. It's cheaper for us to travel than to stay at home. Sometimes you have to do that. And Susie's been talking about that. We were talking about Trafalgar, and Trafalgar is one of our preferred suppliers. And one of the things that we wanted to do was show you per day what you're getting on their cost. You're like, oh my gosh, it's $4,000 to go on that Trafalgar trip. Yeah, but let me show you what you're going to get per day and how it's going to save you time and energy, and you're going to make a great commission, and they're going to have a wonderful experience. They are the best. Why not offer your client? Don't. I always say, well, we went with this other supplier, and I know there's some other, other group guided tour companies that are out there that they're okay. I haven't heard really good things about them, but I always hear great things about Trafalgar. And Trafalgar, we're really going to take the next time we do that, we're going to break it down and go, this is what your client will get for that day. And then, oh, okay, wow, instead of them having to go in and out of hotels and checking in and checking out and it's all set up, and they just go in, their luggage is there, to the room, back down, put it down, and they move on. It's a great experience. All right, let's go to the next one. Should I stay or should I go? That's why I like this one. We decided not to go. What do you mean? Or there's another good one. Or the husband couldn't get the time off from work, and we're going to wait until a better deal comes along. Or we can't agree on a holiday that works for both of us. So we put the whole thing on hold, and we can't find a pet sitter for our gerbils or whatever. Okay. These are codes. We are not booking with you. You're about to lose them to a competitor. And if you haven't already, to reiterate, they are going. They just don't have the heart to tell you the truth. So it's up to you to see if you can save it. Let's go to the next slide. How do you get this response? All right. Now, clearly at this stage, they're saying, well, I'm inferring that they are liars. Clearly at this stage, instead of saying and inferring that they are liars is probably not the best strategy to win them back. But I might counter with this. You know what, Mr. and Mrs. Client, your business is really important to me. I understand whatever the excuse is, your husband can't make it. But if that wasn't the case, how would you feel about the code if I provided? I hope that you will allow me to book your tour when you are ready to travel. Is there something that I can do to change your mind? And this is where it comes in, you guys. Again, travel advisor. If let's say that they wanted to go to Puerto Vallarta in March, okay? Now you know that's going to be high. Why is that? Because that's the spring breakers. That is the springtime in Puerto Vallarta. The weather is excellent. So their room rates are going to be high. It's high season. You've got to start knowing this thing. Now, if you book it like when I went in August, when it's really hot and it's stormy and it's raining every day, you're going to get a lower rate. So if it comes down to a question of rates and all that, you have the full year to work with. Know when the high season is, when the low season is for your client. In other words, they wanted to go to Europe. They wanted to go to Italy. Well, of course, Italy in June is high, right? The summer months, you guys know that in Europe. But, if you go in October, November, it'll be way cheaper. So use that to your advantage, all right? Then I would ask the same questions listed under the objection 1. By this point, I will have taken responsibility for losing the sale, so I want to make sure, so I want to know what I could have done differently in the future. So ask them, what is wrong? And if you're nice about it, well, tell me, what don't you like about it? Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, this is a favorite one of Donna Fontaine's. Okay, what happens if your client goes dark? Won't return your calls or emails, and this happens. And this is why I tell you guys, do not overburden your client. Well, I was up all night. What?
That's called ghosting nowadays.
Oh, it's called ghosting. Okay.
Yeah, if you get ghosted by your client.
Okay, you get ghosted by your client. See, I don't know the new terminology, but here's one of the things that you don't want to do. Okay, I hear you guys calling me up. Well, I emailed them five quotes. I'm like, no, they don't have time for that. These people work full time. Their mom and dads. When do they even have? I don't even have time to read all my emails that I get. So don't be doing that. 2 at the most. 2, that's it. And then hopefully they will review. And you know what? You guys have seen the quotes. I showed you what the quotes look like. They're not going to understand that. They're not going to understand what a carnival quote looks like. What is this? What is gratuities? What is these taxes? What is this pork chop? What is that? They don't know that. So you're going to have to explain that to them. Especially again with, if you're booking like in Apple Vacations, or FunJet. What do you mean I got to, what is this? Travel protection. Tell me, explain that to them. It's all for their good, but, again, don't be doing 3. Oh, I send them again. And here's another thing. Tell them in qualifying going, you know what? My first 2 quotes are free. After that, I charge a booking research fee. Okay. So they know that you will get them what they want if you've listened correctly. If you've qualified correctly, you shouldn't have these objections. Now, this again, and we're dealing with a special client that we have, and they're a huge company. And this company has given their like $3,000 rewards to go travel. And these are salespeople that we're working with. And they call us in August, and we get the quote to them. We don't hear from them. And then in December, they go, well, I'm ready to purchase now. Well, guess what? The price has gone up. The air has gone up. Everything, So that's why again, you have to create the urgency here. Now, okay. If your client ghosts you, that's what it says here, you may have a better chance of getting them back if they told you they decided not to go. Sometimes the silent treatment is a symptom of them reviewing other options. And if they haven't made a final decision yet, so they are stalling and you still have a chance. Again, create that urgency. It's like this. If you want to go 90 days before listen, the farther out you book, the better deal I can get for you in regards to hotel and the air. And if it's not a holiday, I can get you some great deals. But if you want to wait around and wait, thinking that something magical is going to happen to the airlines, that United Airlines is going to fly you from New York to LA for a dime, it ain't going to happen. Be real with them and tell them about the knowledge that you know about the industry. Let's go to the next slide. Here's the response to this. You definitely don't want to come across as defensive or desperate. And this allows you to continue the relationship with the client. It could even bring them back to you. You know what I would do in a situation like this? Send them a funny joke. Email them and say, I haven't heard from you. One of those, things, a clip art or something that'll break that up. If you're, what? I'm sorry.
A GIF.
A GIF, right. if you
Yeah,
if
very
you are
good.
happy with there, going, hey, I haven't heard from you. You still want to do this? And if you're thinking, but I don't want to help out a client who hasn't booked with me. Really, really, I don't want to help out a client. That's an opportunity there. I'd say that's being short-sighted. I'm again reminded of a favorite quote. You can have anything you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they want. And this is true. I've heard of agents and advisors who, yeah, they booked it, they went on the internet. Then they called me and they said they were having problems. Now, you can either say, you know what, forget it. I'm not, because you didn't book with me, and be a little childish about it. Or you can say, don't worry about it. I got your back. You know how much that's going to mean to them? They will be your clients forever if you get an opportunity like that. I mean, seriously, they will be. Because now they know that who you are, how you build your value, how you save them on whatever issue that they had. And that's what I'm talking about. So remember, don't be short-sighted and really, really work for this, okay? Always help somebody because they need help. They don't have anybody to turn to because Expedia didn't call them or Travelocity told them no or whatever, and be there for them. And then that's how you build business. Okay, here's some things, some free key steps to convert objections to a booking. Listen, ask a lot of questions, then sit back and listen. And I tell that all the time when we talk about qualifying. Listen for both what they say and also what they don't say. You'll want to jump in and respond immediately, but resist the urge. Listen first. We want to go, fine. I know the dates, I know the place, I know the hotel, I know where they want to go. Okay. Use empathy. Whatever the objection is, know that it's not personal. Empathy is one of the most critical skills in sales. Understanding the client's point of view, seeing their concerns from their perspective, and especially emphasizing that their concerns are valid will help resolve any issues that might. Oh, really? Okay. So Mr. Client can't make it on those dates. Well, great. That's no problem. I can find some other dates. What other dates is Mr. Client looking for? You want to go a month later, a month before? We can work with that. See, use empathy. Don't be like, oh, what do you mean? Confirm. Confirming is such a critical step and often gets forgotten. Before you launch into Mr. or Miss Fix-It mode, you want to be sure that you're understood correctly. Then ask, if I'm able to address your concerns, will you be happy to move forward with the booking? If I can take care of all your objections, this is the linchpin of the process. And failing to do this can cost you a lot of time trying to fix issues that never really contributed to potential lost sale in the first place. Respond and reposition. And finally, it's time to get to work. Address each issue individually. Don't skip over even the most minor concern. And once you are done, you pretty much have yourself a booking. Now listen, this is going to require some things here. You have to follow up on this. You've got to. If you want to be successful, what do I always say? If you want to be a successful travel advisor, there's two things that you have to master: qualifying and follow up. If you follow up and follow these steps of how to deal with objections, you're going to be a success. But it's up to you. It really is, you guys. I mean, I can show you the tools. Myself and Mike Archer, we can show you the tools on how to do it, but you have to go out and do it. Now, I'm going to rely on the uplines. When you guys have your meetings and all your trainings, start interacting with each other. Practice qualifying, practice dealing with objections. That'll make you a better agent in the long run. What was that? Let's go to, okay, here's the last one. Evolution agent versus OTAs. We've done this before. We're going to do this again in January, and this is another objection. This is a whole nother webinar. Okay, this is a whole nother one. But we have this.
What's an OTA?
What's that?
What's an OTA?
An OTA is online travel agency. So what are they? Priceline, Travelocity, Expedia, all those. Yeah. Okay. And we're going to talk about these probably in January. We'll come back when we set up. But that's a whole nother, and that's another objection. I found it better on the internet. Okay. Now, if you do have that issue, call me and I'll tell you how to deal with it. But it's really simple. Okay, great. Send that to me. Can you send me that link on Travelocity or Priceline, whatever that you have? And that way we can price match it with, either Pleasant Holidays or Apple Vacations, Apple Leisure Group. We do have that. Yes, sir. I have a question.
I have one better.
Oh, go ahead. This is Reggie Rivas, by the way.
So if the OTA, they call and say, hey, what I saw online was this price, say, I understand. But if there's an emergency, What's that OTA's phone number? Are they going to call you back? Who is your personal concierge? That's where you come in, the evolution agent, and you're their personal concierge. Today, we had a phone call. A lady was stuck at the airport. We were able to help her out because she booked through Archer Travel. If she booked online, she had no one to help her out. She had no customer service. She'd be on the phone for 3 or 4 hours waiting for that airline to get a hold of them. So I highly suggest you use that tip too.
Right.
From an OTA versus an evolution agent is a free concierge service that you can give out.
That's right. And also, that's when we work with our preferred suppliers. If you book with our preferreds,
yes,
we have your back. And that's 24/7, you guys. That really is. You know, if there's something wrong, there was an issue that happened last week that we kind of jumped on really quick. We're not going to name the property, but it was pretty bad, and we jumped on it. But that's why we're here. We're here to assist you. Always remember that. And we really want you guys to be successful. That's why Mike and I are going to be getting together. We're going to be doing more trainings for you guys. And we're really excited about going into January once we start wave season. We've been talking about that, and we're going to have some really great times with that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking excited for it.
Awesome. I just want to say hello and make sure Jose's behaving.
Yeah, I've always been. My jokes are better, Dad. Oh, just about. Okay. All right, everybody, this is it, all right? Like I said, if you want a copy of this PowerPoint, just go ahead and email me. There's some important stuff in here, and there is the email addresses right there, customercare@archertravel.com and joseL@archertravel.com, and there's the phone numbers. All right, Amanda, any questions?
I didn't have any questions. We had a lot of comments, and it was just great interaction. So
Okay, cool. And you know, again, you guys, if you're frustrated and if you ever have that kind of thing, call us. You know, we don't want you to be overwhelmed. I know some of the teams kind of like go crazy with you guys, you know, especially for your new agents. What I got to do, you know, just call us. We will calm you down and put you on the right path to be an excellent travel advisor here at Arctic Travel Group. All right, everybody, that's it. I will see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time. We're all excited. Susie's very happy. We're going to be doing some holiday stuff, and then we're going to do the Arctic Travel Report at 4 o'clock. So tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time, Destination Specialist. I'm Jose Lambert of Arctic Travel Service. You all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.